Good afternoon and welcome to Namibia Media Holdings' 14th update on COVID-19 in Namibia. We will continue to share all the faces in the NMH group. Today with me is Frank Stephan. He is editor of the Allgemeine Zeitung. Good afternoon, Frank.
Good afternoon to the listeners and good afternoon, Dan.
Yes, we've got less than half an hour, a lot of footage packed in, so we might drop some of it just in order so that we can finish before the evening review. Frank, I think one of the most important things, the Bank of Namibia has now announced a short while ago actually, that the commercial banks can grant payment holidays. That will not only be in terms of the interest on your loan, but also in terms of the loan amount, the payment itself. But the bank has to decide it can range from 6 months to 24 months, which is 2 years, probably for businesses which are in deep trouble, not necessarily individuals. Do you think it's a very good step?
I think I agree, especially what they've mentioned in there as their motivation. It's between the drought and COVID. And I think especially our farmers will need that help as well. So I hope it is not only for business per se, but rather for everybody out there who's got a good reason to say, look, I've had enough, I can't take no more. So a bank holiday would really be good for these guys. Yeah.
The Ministry of Labour today also this afternoon issued a list of essential services. These are the people who must continue to work in spite of a lockdown, and Frank is going to run down that list quickly while we display it to you.
Okay, first and foremost, obviously ambulance services, we've got casualty services, theatre services, intensive care units, hospital wards, laboratory services, pharmaceutical services, dental, radiography, I suppose, physiotherapy, mortuary services, medical services, hospital kitchen services, hospital laundry services, emergency management, disaster management, portable water services, wastewater management services, very important, scientific services, electricity distribution and their operation services, as well as maintenance services, electricity transmission, electricity network operation and their system operation services, electricity system security and planning services, as well as engineering services and energy trading services. Then there's also the air navigation services, very important, even though they're grounded at this stage, air traffic management, communication navigation and surveillance systems, search and rescue services, aeronautical information services, and meteorological services.
Yes, that's a big mouthful. We want to point out also, these are the essential services which has already been in previous years gazetted in terms of the Labour Act in Namibia, but we understand they will consider media also as an essential service. Frank, just then Labour also today had a meeting and they are asking employers not to retrench anyone, to pay everyone in full for both March and April at least. At this time, your full pay, no one must be sent on forced leave or unpaid leave because of the lockdown or COVID-19. Do you think that's practically possible? Because some employers are in a very, very difficult situation, especially smaller SMEs.
Yeah, and I think that is why it's so important that the banks actually cooperate in this regard. The idea must be to help everyone. We're all in the same boat here. Those of us who are lucky enough who can still sort of have a solid income, which might not necessarily bring big profits and so on, but you've got too many people who are simply, they've reached the point where nothing can be done anymore. And so banks need to help the employer so that the employer can keep this up. I think the government needs to take some charge there and say, listen, this is not negotiable. Banks, you need to somehow come to the party.
We understand at this stage that a cabinet meeting did start at 4 o'clock this afternoon. It's unconfirmed information that there will be a national announcement, maybe at 6 already, maybe later, we don't know. And we're also not speaking about the start of the lockdown again because of different messages still being received. Initially, they said it would start Saturday. Yesterday, they said it would start Friday. And we're back to Saturday, but we don't know what's going to happen next. Let's go to the regions quickly and show you some scenes from other parts of Namibia.
My name is Charlie Monga. I'm all the way from Okahanja community. All I think about this lockdown is a bit a problem to us who are getting paid next week on the end of the month, which is a bit negative effect to us. So if they look to tomorrow, the lockdown will be tomorrow. So what about us who are getting paid next week, which is, it will be a bit difficult for us because we won't be having food. For now, we are just finishing the last food. You understand?
My name is Valentino, and okay, we feel so good about this lockdown, and yeah, it's safe for us. Let us stay at home and yeah, do not spread the virus so a lot. Thank you.
And then who shall hospital gaan play? Ongwediva the play. Who shall it know? Can be very able. Who shall it say? Michael say, that's what I can say.
Ang dai ko nera mi sati hanu tammi mi na ba ke ko ang nang o tani ti miske khidang hanu ba are tin ngam re tin hanu tammi khami tu dire an ko ni no pa no sira di family ni nord dinga hana khida ma ko wai ngam mi hanu tammi khami tu dire si ma ko wai hai ni si khai bi tu khasam lek sa family ase hare o tai ki ngasta ai ba arung after spring kita ni mi era kami ingat hai kumidra kunata ta direntan anta tahu nggak sih mi pada itu nanti oh tai ki ni ai arung ka first spring tidak gitu tidak
So that everyone prepares themselves properly and that they're not ignorant towards this lockdown. Because as I said, people should rather isolate themselves and just stay away from each other and respect each other's boundaries and not joke about this thing, because that's what the biggest thing that everyone's been doing is just joking, touching people and stuff. So hopefully everyone just respects and takes it serious.
Yeah.
Ai kombigane yonkiti nguno shaike wa moni wangu no onkiti nguno we amo chirongo muno ai o business ave tupaipita lende e customer bishongora chinene tatumono e customer shasha no yatira okuyamanu kuno nkiti au onlipagi maroto tapongeru nduruko ndiri uogoki twaturango mahemere wo mea no sewa tupe customer divure nga vikareke kiti uriko kureka di infecting ya kwa twaninga ne kutia e customer ina venda dirimumwe aldiranda da gudumana chinene twedi pango mito kutia na vende by one taranda ta ikokure ankotea na tango taranda ina vikarike daramba sana customer irimano na tango irimano dangudumana chinene na tango jono acheta
Frank, a very important issue is social distancing. Eleni Nanjatu up in the north visited the Onanjokwe hospital this morning and took some scenes which we will display now while we are talking about it. Social distancing is an issue that Namibians have real problems with, and we're not adjusting. I saw a line at the ATM here in Windhoek today where people were actually standing a centimeter or less apart from each other. You will see there the people, obviously they moved towards the entrance, they washed their hands very good, but you will see very close to each other still. And shortly we will see where the lines are, where the patients are waiting. And this is the big hospital in the north in terms of serious issues and referrals.
I think the
at
important part is not only,
Onanjokwe.
the distances, it's also they're brushing against each other. Nobody really keeps that distance, and it happens here as well.
Yes, there we see that is now where people are waiting to be assisted. And actually we are speaking about at least a meter, meter and a half, even 2 meters, and we see nothing of
Quite
that.
the contrary, you actually see a person there sort of squashing into the middle there.
Why is social distancing so important? Let's look at this insert quickly. Very important. That is why me and Frank is also showing much more distance than we had previously in the show, and why we also have the hand sanitizer here. We spoke to Eleni Nanjatu up in Ongwediva a short while ago via Skype, and this was his message from the north. Eleni Nanjatu, a journalist for Namibian Sun, is standing by at the Oshana Mall. Good afternoon, Eleni.
Good afternoon, Danny, and how is everything in Windhoek?
Things are well here in Windhoek. A lot of questions, obviously, the public still have about the lockdown. I think probably up there in your area, Oshakati, Ongwediva, and Dangwa as well. What is the latest you can tell us from up north?
Okay, the situation here is not really as usual because the movement of people in the shopping mall has reduced. And also we experienced that in some shops there is a shortage of some commodities such as fruit and vegetables, and we understand that this is because of the border closure, especially from South Africa. The shops are saying that they are finding it difficult for their items to get or to get their stock from South Africa, and as it's happening nationwide, at every shop there is people are being sensitized. There is either wipers for the trolleys or for the hand washing. That is being strictly enforced, because at some shop there are even security guards who are trying by all means that whenever you are entering or getting out of the shop, you have wash your hands.
Thank you, Eleni. I'll give Frank quickly a chance for a question from his side.
Hi, Eleni. Just quickly, tell me, generally, do you find that it's only a shortage, or are people also manipulating prices?
It's not really an issue of pricing. It's just a shortage. Yeah, because when you look at the pricing, items are more or less with the same price. It's only that the items themselves are the one that are in shortage.
Have you also seen the panic buying, is the word they use? In other words, people filled up trolleys, even multiple trolleys with products, and that is also actually now the reason you have sorted this, because the goods should actually freely flow from South Africa, because the border hasn't been closed for essentials like food.
It's not really a situation of multiple trolleys, but there is a situation whereby people are pushing fully packed trolleys, and that is maybe what is contributing to the shortage. Because in most cases, these are only products that are not being produced in Namibia, such as fruits and vegetables that normally they get from South Africa. But other commodities such as rice and macaroni and flour, those ones, they are saying that at the moment they are still okay. but it's only with those commodities such as fruit and vegetables.
Thank you, Eleni, and keep safe. That was Eleni Nanjatu up from the North Front. We actually got pictures, maybe the producer can show one or two quickly, of panic buying and the result, empty shelves in the shops, etc. In 2 or 3 sentences, what's your feeling about this whole issue of panic buying?
Clearly it's a problem, and I think what we should start doing is, instead of just trying to get quick profits and quick turnovers right now, I think we've reached a point where the owners of the shops have to start taking charge. They need to somehow get the queues organized. There should be as many people in the shops in any case. And secondly, it would just make sense to say, listen guys, one of each, and that's it. That's what the guys do in Europe and in America at this stage. They start bringing you down in levels so that everybody has a share. And once it sort of quietens down, it becomes easier.
Economist Rowland Brown was Business 7's guest yesterday, but Business 7, Joe Maridadi, also recorded a separate interview with him about the possible economic impact of COVID-19. We are playing you that interview now.
The lockdown in Khomas and Irongo is imminent, and people are extremely concerned and worried not only about their own personal issues and health, but also about what it can do to the economy. We're talking to Rowland Brown. He's the director of Ceres Capital, and he is also with the Economic Association of Namibia. Rowland, are we taking this seriously enough? And are there things that we can do to mitigate the impact?
Yeah, so I think that's exactly the message that we need to convey at the moment. Is it doesn't strike me that we are taking the economic side of it seriously enough. We are taking the health side very seriously. We're reacting, I think, more proactively than most other countries, and some, me included, perhaps would argue that we're being a little bit too preemptive on certain things. But on the economic side of things, I think that we're not taking this seriously enough. I think the quantum of the problem that we're dealing with is poorly understood, and I think that the quantum of the response required as a result is poorly understood.
In a nutshell and in layman's terms, summarize the possible impact that this will have.
Yeah, so as we go into lockdown, basically people that are not able to work from home and businesses that require their employees to be on site in order to generate revenue are going to come under a lot of pressure. With businesses not being able to produce or do whatever they're designed to do, such as construction companies, and yet still having to carry costs, we're going to see these businesses start to see a reduction in profits and probably become loss-making. And because we are now locking a country down with 7 cases, it's very clear that there are going to be a number of these events through the year. This isn't the first time, it's not going to be the last time that we have, or this is the first time, but it's not going to be the last time that we have such a lockdown. And so
that interview a bit short because evening review is happening very shortly at 6 o'clock. Thank you for joining us. Also, thank you, Frank.
Thank you for having me.
And remember, keep safe.